All right, everybody. Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are here on another episode, man. We have a special guest that's going to be on here, just kind of talking about her journey. Because I wanted to get the ladies' perspective. I needed to get the ladies' side of. We had a lot of fellas on here. We had a lot of guys talking about what they're doing. But I needed to get some powerhouses in here. I need to get some ladies in here. So I don't want you ladies, thinking that we forgot about you. And this person right here is killing it out there, and I just can't wait to hear her story. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hi, everybody. So my name is Yana Epps, and I'm from the Bay Area, California. And I've been an agent for about 11 years, kind of inactive, though. I've always worked a full-time job, but I knew that real estate was kind of my passion. I just really didn't enjoy retail sales until recently I found investing, and here I am.
Nice, nice. And so what part of California are you in?
I live near Oakland, like
Okay.
about 5 miles from Oakland.
All right. And so that's where you're doing most of your sales, your business and real wholesaling in Oakland area?
Well, my business spans from Sacramento down to Fresno. So it's most of Northern California to the Central Valley.
That's a big area. That's a big area. So, man, I'm excited to hear like your story and how did you find wholesaling? How did that come about?
So I think I was just like on YouTube one day, and I kind of stumbled across a video, one of Max's videos actually, and it kind of piqued my interest because I had never heard of the term. And once I really found out like what it was, I became obsessed with it. I was reading about it day and night, listening to YouTube, podcasts, books, everything I could get my hands on to find out if it was like real, because being an agent, it was, kind of hard to switch gears and actually think about like how this works. It didn't seem ethical at first. It didn't seem legit until I validated that everyone else was doing it. So I got excited about it.
That's so true, because I think you might be the first agent besides myself that's been on these calls with us. And as an agent, it's like you're very structured, right? You have these rules and procedures, and everything is this, and this, and all these laws and then wholesaling is like, man, you don't need none of that. And a lot of times, especially on the lower deals, like the houses that are selling for, well, over in California, you probably don't have too many houses that sell at this point, but over here in Atlanta, you have a house that sells for $60,000 as a real estate agent. I'm not making any commission on it. It's like very little, but
that's not even worth the time and energy.
Yeah, but you can wholesale it and still make $10,000, $15,000 or more off of it, depending on how the deal is. So what was that like? Like that shift, that mental mind shift. Okay, this is real estate agent and world, and this is wholesaling world. How did you navigate that?
So, I mean, for me, it was super exciting because I felt bad not being active in real estate. I just knew that I didn't want to do that grind of being an agent, And like you said, to work hard like that for 2.5% to 3% on a deal that, might fall out. You work with buyers, they don't even end up buying from you. So, it's a huge waste of time sometimes. So I had given up on it altogether, but my background is flipping houses. So I have a lot of rehab experience. So I always knew that I wanted to be an investor. That's why I held on to my license. And when I found this strategy, it just gave me like an instant method of building up the capital to be able to invest in long-term rentals for my portfolio.
Okay, so I love that you said that. Everybody listen to what she's saying. So your whole goal right now is wholesale to build capital and then get buy and holds, something that you can rent out for.
So I'm actually specifically in multifamily and commercial. So I'm teaching myself commercial real estate investing right now.
Cool. That's awesome. So are you in agreement with the term, all the money is made on the purchase, not the sale?
Absolutely. For sure. So I want to bring up my first deal, and going back to being an agent, that was kind of one of the reasons why we connected. You probably don't recall because you talked to so many people at We Live in Dallas, but when you told me you were an agent, I was specifically intrigued because I wanted to get your perspective about like how to be both at the same time, without crossing the line.
Yeah.
So that's why I signed up for your course specifically. But what did you just ask
Yeah.
me?
No, sorry. You were getting ready to go in about your first deal.
Oh yeah, my first deal. So my first deal came from Deal Machine. Once I left We Live, I got really energized, and I found a few tools that were going to help me actually, prospect. And I was just driving past a vacant lot that I've seen every day for the last 15 years, but I put it in the tool, and I actually got a call back, and it took me 30 minutes to negotiate the buy and about 15 minutes to negotiate the sale.
Wow.
And based on the purchase price that I sold it for and what I earned, it was probably like a 15% commission or assignment fee, if you will.
So just so, because everybody that watches this, they might know what you're talking about, they might not. So I just want to put this in perspective. So number one, she used a tool called Deal Machine. And so Deal Machine is an app. Creator David Lecko, he created this app where you can literally be in your car. She saw this lot. She rolled down the window. She took a picture of it. And when she takes a picture of it and touches the lot on the app, it gives the address, the name of the person who owns it, and where they stay at. Because obviously this is a vacant lot. There's nobody who's living on there. So they gave the address of where that person is staying at, and then you just skip trace them and contacted them. Is that pretty much how it worked?
I didn't even, well, I used a skip trace within the app, actually, yeah.
So you didn't even have to leave the app?
What's that?
So you didn't even have to leave the app?
I didn't leave the app, nope. I actually got a call back. I sent postcards out and I used a skip trace, but the postcard was what made them respond. So they called me back. The seller was older, met with his family, and they just wanted to get rid of it. They had tried to build on it, but the city stopped them. There was a variance process that was kind of intimidating for them. So they just wanted to get rid of it.
Nice, nice. So you got paid, like you said, probably would have been like a 15% commission if you're talking about as a real estate agent. You got paid for helping someone else solve a problem.
Exactly. And actually the calculation was wrong. It's about 20% is what I made on it.
Wow. So like 20%. So that's your first deal. What out of that first deal, give me something, or you gave me the good, all right? Give me something that like a hardship. Give me something that was like a difficult portion in there.
I don't know if you remember this, but I called you the day that I went to get the
so this was this
buyers. What's that?
That was the deal that you called me on.
Yes.
Okay.
It was my first deal. So I thought I was doing great and it felt normal and natural. But when I got there, I realized that I didn't have the buyer's contract memorized. So when I was trying to direct the buyer where to sign, who's the assignee, assignor, all those terms kind of got confusing to me for a second. And I got too embarrassed to proceed because I didn't want to do it wrong. Yeah. So I told him that I needed to make a correction on the contract. I went home and I called you, and that's when you walked me through it. And then I went back to his job site and got it signed in about an hour.
Perfect. Yeah. So the reason why I like to point like the flaws out, right, is because when people watch this, they see the end result. Oh, she got the deal done. But there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of little micro steps that we have to take and we have to learn in order, just in order for it to go all the way through and to be sitting at the closing table. And I think those little fumbles, those little missteps, those miscues are so super important because it makes it real, right? It's like everything isn't just roses and butterflies and everything just goes perfectly. There's some things that we have to work through if you're going to make that type of money.
I know that I'll never make that mistake again. In fact, for every one of the contracts that I use, whether it's for vacant land or an assignment contract, like I know the whole contract front to back now. So I made sure that's never going to be an issue again. Never
going to be an issue. Exactly. So, yeah. So what happened from there? What, I know you're like, if you guys don't know, she is like killing it. She's going to like every course that she could possibly get because she's trying to level up, right? She's investing in reinvesting in herself. So tell me a little bit, where are you at now? Like what's going on now with your real estate career? What are you into right now?
So I just recently hired a team of cold callers.
Nice.
And I have a virtual assistant now, so I'm able to offload a lot of the, the tasks that I don't really want to be bothered with. I have my VA doing my skip tracing, scheduling my marketing campaigns, and also updating my website. Oh, I hired a marketing manager too, so he's been really good about getting my website built, and everything's taken off. I'm kind of busy now with responding to the inquiries.
Yeah.
And the next step is to hire an acquisitions manager.
That's a really good problem to have, yeah. A really, really good problem to have. So what are your thoughts? So when hiring an acquisition manager, what I think works best, if you can find someone who's kind of new in the game, younger in the game, like real estate agent, but not so new that they're not not so new that they don't even know how to fill out the contract, right?
Do you think
Because
an agent is the best person to hire? Because my thoughts are, sometimes it's too hard for them to switch gears. I think somebody with a little bit of sales experience and a lot of customer service experience would be perfect for the job, even if they didn't have a real estate
well,
background.
it's not just any person. Obviously, there's a screening process, right?
Mhm.
So, but if you find someone that's already in the real estate world and they can, prime example, and I just Max and Francis, Max and Maxwell and his Francis was the broker, right? So
Mhm.
he's not just any real estate broker. Like it's a very specific broker. He understands that, wow, this wholesaling thing, this investing thing is huge. And so you got to find the right one for sure. But he's able to do a lot of things that, you know, because of his access in the real estate world that, just someone else would not be able to do. They wouldn't have that reach, if you will.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's important, like having MLS access, understanding terminology, knowing how to run comps. But at the same time, I feel like, almost anybody could learn that. But I guess if you do have a real estate background, it is somewhat of an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to each his own. I think that as far as acquisitions, I'm the acquisitions manager. Well, I'm pretty much I do most of my acquisitions, but the other person that I have, he's not a real estate agent, but it's like if he was, some of the things that I had to go through and teach, because at this point I feel like you kind of want to have someone to kind of just put into that place
Yeah.
and just go. I
Right.
like teaching.
The most intimidating thing about bringing on an acquisitions specialist or manager is actually the training and the time that it takes away from me to actually teach them what I know and put them in
That's
position and trust them with my deals.
and that's I think that's my point with it is like you're going to spend a lot of time just trying to get them to get up to speed. Sales, if they're good at the sales portion, if they're good at relating to people and building rapport, and then they have the real estate background, that's a win-win right there.
Yeah.
There's less time that's going to be downtime, but like I said, if you find someone that works, like the person that does mine, they're really good. They were able to pick up on it really quick. I actually just gave them my course, and they went through the course really quickly, and it's working out. I typically don't have to go out on too many calls anymore. So, but it's something to think about. So you're doing that now. So you're at the point where you're like basically you got procedures that you're putting in place so
Yeah.
that you don't have to, like, the whole reason why we do this is that we don't have to work in the business. We can work on the business.
Yeah.
And so that process, that transition process, is that something that's pretty expensive, or where do you think, where would you suggest you suggest that people start off at that point? Like what's your suggestion on that?
Well, the most expensive thing for me this year has been the fact that I've devoted this entire year to education. So I've probably spent about $50,000 so far on courses, books, conferences, mentorships, just learning.
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest investment for me so far.
Okay.
And a lot of time has been spent getting to the point where I actually felt comfortable pressing play. And for me, like, I'm a systematic person, so I didn't want to start off with a scatter process. I did start off with a scattered process at first, and then I quickly realized that this can become overwhelming, especially because I also have another job. So I wanted to back up and be organized. So that's what I did. I reinvested more money to learn systems and process before I went in and wasted more money on ineffective marketing.
Yeah. And so the principle of your biggest asset is you, and investing in you.
Yeah.
It just rings true. Like, I think so many times, and I get it, right? Like, we want to go to YouTube University and kind of learn for free, that type of stuff. But man, like, there's nothing like having. I always tell people, and I will forever be grateful. You know, Max, when I decided to invest in him, that's when immediately my business just took off. And so paying for mentorship is super, super important. What are some of the things, besides the little snafu on the contract, what do you think is some of the things that were most valuable to you within the ED course?
So I really enjoyed the fact that I could hear people ask questions, people that were further along with their experience in their business, because I wouldn't have known to ask those things at the point that I was at, so I kind of learned a lot before I even went through it. So being on the daily, on the calls that you used to have, and, taking my time with the modules was really important to me, because I didn't want to jump into something that was going to be too much of a commitment. I felt like your course was not only affordable, but it was self-paced. So I could come back and listen to the modules when I'm on the treadmill, or when I have dinner going, or whenever it was convenient for me. There was no pressure. I didn't have like a time clock to punch. It was just at your pace. So for me, that's what was beneficial about the course. And also just being able to connect with people outside of the course. Like, you meet people on the web meeting, and then you kind of message each other, and then you can rely on each other one-on-one for questions and answers. So what you said about, having more interaction other than YouTube is super important. In fact, I'm here at a conference in Miami for women this weekend to get more information about how people are running their businesses, not just, looking at theory on YouTube or reading it in a book, but to actually speak live to people about their successes and their challenges, and kind of trade information has been the most valuable thing so far.
Awesome. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up, but I want you to give someone one good thing that they should do and one pitfall that they should avoid.
One thing that I would say is, no matter what, just, stay consistent, don't give up, because it's easy to run into like an obstacle and feel like this business is too hard or it's too much. But I think that's all part of growth, and you have to be able to overcome it if you really want to be successful. I mean, if you can't, then you're probably not even cut out for the business anyways. But, it takes persistence.
Absolutely.
Follow through.
Absolutely. So, all right, you got to give me a pitfall to avoid. You got to give me a pitfall to avoid.
A pitfall to avoid. Read the contract before you have something.
Read the contract.
Honestly, I don't know if it has to do with my background or experience, but I have not yet, knock on wood, encountered anything that I would consider a pitfall.
Okay, fair enough. We'll stick with the contract. We'll stick with read the contract before you go to the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I know you, like I said, you said you're out there in Miami right now, again, investing in yourself at that women's only conference. I'm kind of jealous, man.
Your cousin's here.
No, my cousin's there. And then actually her, he's my cousin through marriage, he's there too, but he's just sitting in the hotel room. He's like, man, I can't do nothing. I can't go out. There's nothing but women here, right? So
it's still Miami.
Yeah, it's still Miami, but Miami's Miami, right? So make sure you go out there and you enjoy Miami. I love Miami. I used to live there for a long time. So enjoy it, have fun, be safe. And again, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out, because you didn't have to do this. You had just got in. Your flight was a wreck and they messed around and messed up your luggage and all that stuff. So the fact that you hopped on this, it really means a
I
lot.
mean, this is the least I could do, Tommy. I really owe my first deal to you holding my hand through it and letting me know that it really could be done. So I feel like this is the least I could do, and it's my honor.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Will you have fun? Enjoy it. Be safe. And we're gonna kind of retouch this a little long later when you get in the business and you got your systems. And I just want to see the growth from now and until then.
Oh yeah, you'll see it.
All right. Cool. All right. You take care.
Bye.
All right.